Okay, we're back. Let's go ahead and pick up where we left off. Now, we're going to start piping some of this stuff up because now we're getting to a point where we really need to see it piped before it starts making sense. So I'm going to go ahead and start by bringing up my 4-inch pipe. Let's go ahead and get that from a top view and rotate that. Give us 90 degrees. And we're working with a pretty small segment of pipe there. And that's usually a-okay, but in this case, we're doing some pretty long pipe runs to be working with that little guy. So I'm just going to go ahead and press pull this pipe. And let me get the face of that. And I'm just going to extend this thing out 180 inches. So that's pretty big pipe right there. And now that we've got that, let's come back into a front view. And let's get this out of our way. So let's grab it and let's move it down here a little bit, if it'll let me click on it. Perfect. And now I'm going to go ahead and copy this. And I'm going to put a copy of this in each one of my headers. So I've got one here. And I've got one more header right there. And then I've got my top header right there. Perfect. So now I've got pipe running across those. And you know, I'm going to go ahead and start slicing some of this out. So let's start with this top one, and we're going to just use and abuse our slice tool. So let's slice along this socket, keep this side. So let's slice along this socket, keep both sides. Let's slice along this socket, just keep that side. Slice along this socket, keep both sides. Slice along this socket, keep this side. We've got one more. Let's go ahead and slice this. Actually, we've got two more. Along this, keep both sides, and then slice it along here and just keep this one. So now we turned that header into all these different pipe segments. That header is pretty much where it needs to be. We might end up moving this flange a little bit off so that we can get a support in between there, but other than that, we don't have to worry about that now. That's pretty good. And let's go ahead and do that same operation down here on these. So remember, I told you before that slice was a pretty useful command. I bet you believe me now. Alright, so let's go ahead and make that first slice. Keep both of them that time. And you see how fast I'm making all these cuts. That's why I'm telling you, you can design one of these systems in a week. It's pretty easy, actually. You just need a little bit of practice and a little bit of technique. And actually, once you really start doing this, you're going to realize that there are actually some easier ways to do a lot of the things than the way that I do them. I'm teaching you the way that I am really because it uses the fewest commands to get the job done. But if you learn a few more commands and a few more tips and tools in AutoCAD, you're going to find out that, wow, you can really do a whole lot more than what you already thought you could. You think I'm moving fast now, you could actually be doing this stuff plenty faster. So there is plenty of room for growth above and beyond the little simple stuff that I'm showing you. But even if you don't, even if you stay right here, well, I mean, take a look at all that you can do with just the commands that I've given you. This is pretty awesome. So I'm about to finish this bottom header here. And we're making really, really good time on this stuff. And that's it. Oh, one more. I guess we don't want that thing shooting way out into space. There we go. And everything's good on that top header. And everything's good on that middle header. And that bottom header looks great too. So, alright, we can go ahead and get rid of that big section of 4-inch pipe. And now we can take our 2-inch pipe and start piping it down for our bypass line. Our first tank here, we can get that all piped out with 2-inch, and we can make all of our connections to these bottom headers and between these two elbows as well. So let's go ahead and get rolling on that. Let's copy our 2-inch pipe, and I'm going to bring that up over here just so I don't get it confused, and then we go into a top view, and then I'm going to go ahead and create a copy of that over here that I can rotate 90 degrees. And I tell you what, using the keyboard on this stuff, amazing time saver, really cool stuff. So let's go ahead and get all isometric on this, and let's do some press pulling to get some larger segments to work with here. So I don't really need to press pull that very far. I'm going to pull that out about 10 inches, which is probably about 8 inches more than what I need. And I'm going to go ahead and do one of these. And let's go ahead and pull that out, let's say 10 inches. And then I'm going to create another copy of this right here. And I'm going to do a 3D rotation on that. I'm going to rotate that 90 degrees. And then I'm going to press pull that one as well. And I'm going to be a little bit more generous with that one, and I'm going to give us about 100 inches. Alright, so when I come back to the front view, there we go. I've got 3 different pipe segments that I can work with, and I'm going to go ahead and start laying this vertical one out. So let's go ahead and copy it. Let's take this top left quadrant, and let's just start dropping it into where we're coming down from this header. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. Easy stuff, right? We're piping this whole thing, and we're piping it with a quickness. Then I'm going to go ahead and drop some into these. And then I need to drop one right there. And that should do it for the moment. So that gives me enough to start chopping on. Let's go ahead and start slicing. I swear this lecture ought to be called slicing, right? Because that's what we're doing, probably more than about anything. So let's go ahead and make that first slice. We're going to slice here along that socket, keeping both sides. We're going to slice this one, keeping only that side. Alright, there's our bypass line. We made that look quick and easy. So let's go ahead and slice this one. That socket, let's keep this piece. Let's slice that. And there's our socket. Keep both. We're going to slice again. Take that one. There's our line. And we're going to keep this side. Perfect. Moving forward. Keep both. Slice this one. Keep that side. Slice again. Let's get the extension of the socket and the valve. Those are kind of hard to find. Keep both. And one more. Again, that socket. Keep that side. Okay. Look at that. We're making really quick progress on all of this stuff. So on the second side, let's get started. We're going to slice. Extend the socket. Keep both sides. Slice. Right here on the extended socket, just keep that side. Come down here to my T. Take another one of those. Keep both. Slice along that socket, keeping only this side. Cutting out the stuff that's interfering in the middle of the T. Keep both sides. Whoops, there we go. And keep just this side. Then we're going to come down into our cross, and we're going to leave the bottom hanging out for the time being. So let's go ahead and make that slice. Keep the bottom, and we're just going to leave that there because we're going to turn that into a drain line. We're just going to basically put a valve on the bottom, and then we're going to let that run off, but we're going to have to get it out of the way because right now we have that running through our header. So we're going to have to elbow that back a little bit and drain that back up under the vessel. That's no problem. That gives us something in the future to look forward to. So what else have we got? We need to go ahead and make a slice on this one. So let's make our slice, and let's see if we can figure out where we need to slice. I think right there is the line. That stuff really takes some practice to learn to see and figure out where all of those things are. That's not something that happens overnight. And let's see. Let's go ahead and we need to slice these. So we're coming down here into this T, and we want to keep both. Then we want to make one more slice on that, right along this line, keeping the bottom. Make one more slice along that line, keeping the top. There we go. And we can do the same thing for this one. So let's slice it along the socket here. Keep what's up there. Uh-oh, I just sliced my tank in half. That's what we love about Control Z. We can undo those mistakes pretty quick, and well, that one was a whopper too. Let's go back into slice. Just the pipe this time, just the pipe. There we go. Good deal. And we're going to keep both sides. Come up here, slice this one along that line, just the top. We've only got one more of these things to do on this side. We're going to keep just the top. Make another slice on the same, extend out the socket. We're going to keep both sides. Then we're going to come over here and we're going to eliminate the junk in the middle. There we go. So that's a good stopping point. We've done a lot of slicing. We've still got a little bit more slicing to do. So I'm going to go ahead and break off for this lecture. We'll come back and we'll pick up of piping this system. So eat your Wheaties, and I'll see you then. Cheers.